Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Dream Huge podcast. We love to share success stories from huge dreamers, folks in the real estate business, entrepreneurs, movers, shakers, influencers, and more. And hopefully, these interviews and stories will help to motivate and inspire you folks to dream huge. Welcome. Today's show is hosted by Mark Gray, slanging deals every day. What's
What's
up,
going on?
Mark?
Good,
Nothing, man.
man.
Excellent, man. You having a good day?
Yeah, man. Can't complain.
Did you
Beautiful
sling
out.
around some dumbbells this morning?
I did not. It's the
Huh.
weekend.
Yeah, don't take it too easy on the weekends. You know why they call it the weekend, right?
What's that?
Because it makes us weak.
Yeah. My
Don't
legs are
try
kind of jello.
to,
My legs are kind of jello from
become weaker
yesterday.
on the weekend. I'm renaming it. I'm calling it the strong end from
Let's
now
go.
on. Yeah,
That's
I
facts.
know Mark is not weak at all. He's slanging dumbbells and barbells all the time. Mark Gray slanging them every day. JP PAVLANSKY, JP for three. How you doing,
Doing good,
JP?
man. Doing good. Speaking of JP for three, we got a big game one tonight. So let's go Cavs, baby. Let's go Cavs.
Yes, the Cavs, Cleveland
Yes, sir.
Cavaliers. And speaking of Cleveland, North Central Ohio, Northeast Ohio, Sandusky, Ohio, my man Salvatore Sortino, Sal Sortino, the famous, is joining us today. How you doing, Sal?
I'm good, brother. I love this energy, man. I could do this every day. We could start the morning like this, man. I
Let's
love it.
go, baby. It's just natural. That's how we roll. High positive energy on the Dream Huge podcast. So Sal Sortino is out of Sandusky, Ohio, just only about an hour north of us here in Mansfield. He does real estate, he does development, he does mortgage, he does insurance. He's part of the real estate sales group serving Sandusky, Cleveland, and surrounding areas. Online at salsortinogroup.com. Make a friend today, make a deal tomorrow. How you like
Let's go.
that?
I love that. There we go. There's the tagline. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and all the things that you do there in Sandusky, my man.
Yeah, for sure. So, everything started in Sandusky. It's kind of HQ. Actually live in Cleveland now, and doing deals all across Ohio. But yeah, a little bit about me and my companies. Basically within my real estate organization, I have three different, you know, um, subcategories that we do, right? So we have a wholesale business, a wholesale division, we have a development division, and we have a holdings division. Mainly the goal with everything is just to buy more holdings, man, get more rentals, continue to build wealth, build cash flow, and blow it up. Along the line, I actually used to be a realtor. I co-founded a real estate brokerage with my mother before giving my equity in that to her when I got into the mortgage business. So currently in the mortgage business, just actually took a deal with Cross Country Mortgage. I was my own broker shop that I started from scratch. Took a deal with Cross Country. Very excited about that. And for the next chapter of the mortgage business, and also recently entered the insurance business as well. And when people think insurance, they think I'm talking about property insurance. They think I'm talking about auto insurance, right? And that was kind of where my head was at first. But what I realized is with my mortgage business, we sell a lot of mortgage protection, right? Which in layman's terms is basically a life insurance policy, right? A term policy to protect the mortgage. So recently got into the life insurance business as well.
Wow.
Excellent. That's a lot. That's a mouthful right there. But it seems to me that you are doing the same thing we're doing. The accessory businesses just kind of come along because they're adding value to your existing clients, right? That
Mm-hmm.
you're noticing that, hey, we have a need for this. Let's add that. Hey, we have a need for this. Let's add that. So we can be kind of a one-stop shop for your clients. Do you have a title company in the works?
I don't. I've contemplated it. I've talked to quite a few title companies about a potential partnership there, but not in the works as of right now. I really like where I'm at right now, and I feel like adding another iron right now isn't in the works for a while. I gotta keep going with what I'm doing right now, but that could be in the future. I'm not going to rule it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So let's take it back a second too, because you just explained to us all the things that you got going on right now, and my gosh, man, you got
Yeah.
a lot rolling. How'd you get to this place, man? When did you get started, and what kind of took you onto the path of where you are now with 3 different companies in a sense?
Yeah, for sure, man. So, what happened was, I went to college, went to the traditional route, right? Parents wanted me to go to college. Was not for me. I told them that from the day I went. I just wasn't a school guy. Um, After about 2 years of college, went to DePaul in Chicago, then went to Ohio State. Didn't go to many classes. Ended up
That
coming
boy.
home.
I only went on test day.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you have to go on test day. Exactly. So that was me. I was in the same boat. I don't know. I didn't really do too well on those tests either, I don't think. But yeah, I ended up coming home. Was working in my family business. My dad and my grandfather actually, they own a restaurant and a hotel in Sandusky, Ohio. I was kind of raised to be the guy there.
Hang on, I got to jump in right there.
Yeah.
So I was at Kalahari the other day, and I was taking a picture next to a wax statue, real life size statue, at this restaurant called Sortino's.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. And the dude, he's all good looking, older Italian dude. He's got the Rolex, he's got the nice suit and the pinstripes, and we're all posing by him. And guess who comes walking up? The real deal.
Yeah,
himself,
that's
Mr. Sortino. He was so nice, man.
Yeah.
He was spending time with everybody in that restaurant, and I could tell he really loves what he does and connects with his customers, man, real well. So I was going to ask you about that. So that is your blood.
Yeah, that's my granddad. So that's his passion for sure. He hit a great deal there. He was about ready to retire from the restaurant. And Todd Nelson was a good patron of the restaurant, who's the owner of Kalahari, and really just wanted my grandpa to have the restaurant in his place because he liked it so much. So it all worked out there for sure. So I'm really happy for him. That's what he loves to do. So but yeah, that's Gramps. So I learned a lot from him. But yeah, so I was kind of bred to be in that business. I'd been doing it since I was 8 years old. Doing the whole 9 yards. From stripping the beds in the morning to working the front desk in the afternoon to working in the restaurant at night. But quickly realized, it just really, I wasn't loving it. I had a big passion for business, and I really wanted, I'm not the type of guy that wants to sit back and wait for it. I'm the type of guy that wants to go get it. And that doesn't always align with everyone's vision. And it doesn't always align with what's in front of you, right? Sometimes you gotta take a leap. So what I actually ended up doing was, I'm going to get right into the nitty gritty of it. Actually went home to my mother. My parents have been divorced since I was 2, and was like, "Listen, mother, I'm not really happy with what I'm doing with my dad and my grandpa right now. What do you suggest I do?" Right? And she's like, "Well, why don't you go to them and tell them what you want," right? So I went to them. I called a meeting with my grandpa and my dad. This is when I'm 20 years old. I'm like, "Listen, I want a position in the company where my opinion matters." And at the time, I was making $15 an hour. Okay.
How old are you now, Sal?
I'm 28.
Gotcha.
28. Yeah. So I said I wanted a job where my opinion matters, and at the time I was making $15 an hour. And I said I want $1,000 a week. So I want $52,000 a year. And they said, unfortunately, there's just not a position like that for you in the company right now. I love my grandpa, right? We're close, and I look up to him a lot. But I'll never forget the words he said to me as I walked out. He said, "You're all about the flash, and you don't want to work for it." He was the old timer, right? Saying that to me. So of course, I left. I was all emotional. I quit. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do from here. At this time, I had actually bought a duplex from my mom. My mom had one rental property. It was a duplex. I bought it land contract. I think she claimed she took it easy. I mean, I think she took advantage of me at the time. I actually overpaid a little bit for it at the time, but I couldn't go get bank financing. And she's like, "You know what? You should have a rental property." Had a couple bucks, gave her a little down payment. And that was my first taste of being a landlord. So at that time, really in my head, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do from here. And I was really making almost $1,000 a month net because I was Section 8. I was still living at home, and I had 2 Section 8 tenants in the top and bottom that I placed, and was really netting close to $1,000 a month out of this duplex. And I was like, man, the light bulb went off. I did this 20 more times. I might have 20,000 a month coming in, for myself.
It's unlimited. It's
Yeah.
unlimited.
Yep. So that's when the light bulb went off in my head and what I really wanted to do and where I saw myself going. The only problem is when you really want to scale that out, there's one ingredient you need, right? You need money. Okay. Right. All right. So what I did was I swallowed my pride. I went back to my dad and grandpa after not talking to them for a few months. And I said, hey, I need a loan for 30 grand to buy this house. There was $36,000. And they said, absolutely not. Yeah.
So you went about it the wrong way. You need to show them the return that they could get on their investment first.
True.
And then the presentation, you ask for the money.
Yeah, I didn't even know what the return would have been. I just was just asking for a little check. But so they said no. Went back to my mom, and shout out to my mother. She was working at Ohio Business College at the time, and she was a part-time real estate agent. She had a little over 50 grand in her retirement, and she lent me 36 grand to buy my first property. Wow. Yeah. So, and from there, I actually ended up flipping that property. He mistakenly kind of fell into flipping it. Ended up making like a little over 35 grand on my first flip. She let me keep that money one more time the same year. I bought another house off a HUD Home Store. I don't know if you ever around HUD Home Store. Bought another one same year in Berlin Heights it was, and ended up making a good profit, about 40,000 in my first year. So now I'm sitting on a couple bucks, paid my mom back with some interest. And then from there, it really just started to trickle. I got my real estate license, hit the ground running as a realtor, did very well, made very good money in commissions. And I just was an all-in guy, right? When I found a deal, I was all in. I don't think people understand that if I went all the way back, we could go deal by deal. Like if you looked at my accounts, you'd see I was literally going all in on these deals, right? Over and over and over again. But then it just started to trickle, and then everything kind of, spider webbed from there, right?
Hey, Sal, tell us about the size and value of your portfolio currently.
Yeah. So currently I own 93 doors. Of those doors, I actually own the most, at least this is according to my contact to the city. I own the most residentially zoned property in all of 44870 zip code, which is Sandusky, Ohio. And I actually own 47. I don't own, I'm under contract on a 47 unit complex right now as well. So hopefully going to be at 140 doors here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Total asset value, I'd say, is around $11 million.
Wow. 11 million by age 28.
Pretty crazy.
Yep. In 8 years too. Yeah.
Pretty crazy. I can tell you this though. I've hit some very, very good deals, some very, very lucrative flips. I'm always knocking. One of my go-to sayings is whoever hears the most no's makes the most dough. So I'm always knocking on doors. I'm always, networking. I'm always trying to, just build relationships. Because like on this last podcast I was on, I told them, being likable is very important. I think people bring me deals because I try to be a likable person. I try to be relatable, and I try to stay true to my word with my reputation as a buyer. And that's how I get, home run deals. I'll give you the one deal. I'll break it down for you. I don't want to keep you guys forever, but I want to tell you one deal that really puts in perspective for you on how I kind of got to the size I'm at right now. It was one deal. And what I did was I would always be reaching out to this gentleman about this building he owned. Hey, I'd shoot him an email. Hey, Mr. So-and-so, I'm really interested in that building when you're ready to sell it. I knew he really wasn't a real estate investor, especially on the multifamily side. I think he owns some commercial stuff, but it just wasn't his cup of tea, right? I knew he had this building. I knew he didn't like it, right? So I'd always message him. And he'd always say, Sal, maybe one day. Finally, I got a response to one of those emails. It's funny you reach out, Sal. I'm actually thinking about selling it, right? He tells me this, and I'm like, oh, this is great, right? So I'm like, well, what price are you thinking about? And he said, I'm thinking around, I think he said $1.2 million. I didn't have $1.2 million. I was doing well though at this point, just so you know, like I had probably over 10 rentals, was doing really well as a realtor, owned the real estate brokerage. And it was just like, it was a good price that he offered, but I was like, I didn't want to get too giddy. So I said, I came back to him. We ended up settling on 1.1 million. And as the story goes, I didn't know how I was going to be able to buy this building, right? So what happened was I started asking all the banks, right? Just like anyone else. Answers no, you don't have enough multifamily experience. They wanted 30% down at least. Everyone I talked to was no, 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 no. And I was kind of freaking out because I knew I had a great deal in front of me. I didn't know what I was going to do.
See, that's what's the problem. So the property cash flows, correct?
Correct.
It's like, all right, I have a solution for this problem, but I'll let you finish.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'll just tell you, I'll get to the end of this real quick. Because it's kind of a long story. I got told no a million times. Eventually, I'm smoking a cigar at the cigar lounge I belong to, talking about this deal with my buddy Joey. And Joey says, hey, my dad actually is part of a hedge fund. They just started lending on real estate. I think they'll loan you the money on this deal. I'm like, oh, well, connect me. Let's try it, right? This is the last ditch effort. I have 2 weeks before closing, right? Lo and behold, they agreed to do it. They wanted 20% down. I just so happened to close a couple deals that was literally all in again, literally all in. Put the 20% down on the property, and I just actually sold it. I flipped it, and I sold it for 1.65. So I bought it for 1.1, sold it for 1.65, closed, and within 45 days. So I made 550 grand in like 40 days, and that's what really catapulted everything. Yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, man, a couple things out of that. Whoever gets the most no's gets the most dough.
Like that one.
Yeah,
I love that. Right? Hey, never give up. Just keep on knocking on them doors. Keep on being persistent, and persistence always overcomes resistance. So great job on that. Also being all in on everything. My man Grant Cardone talks about that a lot. He talks about holding very little cash, or just enough cash to operate, just enough cash to run the businesses, but all the investment cash should be invested. It should be in cash flowing real estate, rental properties, investment properties. So you did a good job on that, I think, of going all in. Okay, so if you have a deal, you call me, or you call me, and I take your deal, and we partner up, and we take it and we pitch it to the Grant Cardone Real Estate Club. I just joined the club. We pitch 3 to 5 deals a week live with Grant on a Zoom call, and him and his C-level executives, we make decisions on, is the deal good, is it bad? And there's about 350 people in that group with unlimited funds. Okay, so they're saying in the group is, you find the deal first, then the debt, then the equity, and then by doing that, you use your network to do that. So the deal is always number one, which you did that first. You had the deal first, but now you're scrambling. Okay, man, it's a cash flowing deal. It's a good deal. I just need some investors. Well, it's as simple as pitching it to this group. And now that you have already leveled up, you have a group of your own now as well. And you can speak to that. You have a group of investors who use you, who trust you, who have used you, and you've shown them returns. But this here group it was $25,000 to join this group, and he's per year. And Grant said he's actually taking it to, it's going to be $100,000 a year here before long, because that's the value the group adds. So if a deal is pitched and it cash flows and they like the location, no matter where it is in the U.S., you see hands raised instantly. I'm in 100 grand. I'm in 500 grand. I'm in 50 grand. I'm in for $1 million. And the deals are funded like that. So just throwing that out there, man. So if you have
amazing. That's
amazing. The money is never a problem. Finding the deal is the problem. Mm-hmm. Finding the money is never a problem, not in this group. So I'd love to help you out, if you want to learn more about that, or if you have a deal that you'd like to pitch and you want to team up on, we would love to help you with that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you really hit the nail on the head. And this is what I tell everybody that's young and that wants to get into investing in real estate. I tell them, be a deal sourcer, right? Because if you can source the deal, I mean, that's an art in and of itself, right? If you can source the deal off market, right? I don't buy anything on market. I literally haven't since like the 4th property I bought. It's all been, I've sourced everything off market. And that is so powerful. Because like you said, I tell everyone, if you have a deal, someone's going to fund it. You gotta get in the network. But if you have the network, if you have people around you that have a couple bucks, and can see value in the deal, you're going to get the money, right? The network that you have, that you're a part of, just so happens to be a very, very, very large network, that's just hungry, right? It's like the best network to have. That's why it's so expensive to be in there. I see the value in that. That's amazing. Yeah. So, but yeah, being a deal sourcer is really, it can level you up very quickly. If you
and that's how you get paid on the deal is you can provide the deal and put very little cash into the deal because I provided the deal.
Yep.
So I can pay the investors and I can make the spread on whatever is left over after paying the investors. So that behooves me and them to manage that property very well, to manage it to its max potential. And then everybody makes money and everybody's happy. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pete, can I ask you a question? So you have, how many doors did you say you have right now?
159.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
And mine was, and again, same story as you, a huge help from my parents. I got a huge kickstart with it. Well, I house hacked my initial deal too. I moved in, me and my wife moved into a duplex, which was part of a little 15-unit complex. And we did that before we even bought a house. So I knew early on, just like you, JP did the same thing. He house hacked his first duplex, and now he's on to 4 to 6 units. And Mark's an investor as well. But then after that, my parents bought a 96 unit, and then I bought that off of them, seller finance. And we used equity we had built up in that to start building.
That's amazing. Yeah. So how do you manage those? Like, do you self-manage those? You partner with a management company? How's that work?
We started our own management company.
Cool.
Yep. And then so we've got 3 or 4 managers. We've got a maintenance crew, the whole 9. So yeah, we're already managing my 159. So we're like, why not add value to our clients? Why don't we keep sending our clients to the competition?
Right.
For property management? We already know how to do it. We have a system in place. So we just grew the system, and now we're managing another 200 doors for 20 or so owners all across the United States.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Because that's a piece that I'm starting to look at, investing in bigger multifamily stuff, kind of all over the country, not just in my backyard. Right. I'm always gonna buy in my backyard, man. Funny story. What I stole this, so I can't claim this is original. Okay. But what we say is, single family homes, duplexes, the smaller stuff. I look at that stuff like mac and cheese, right? I'm always gonna love mac and cheese. You guys like mac and cheese?
Right?
Oh yeah. Mac and cheese analogy.
Yeah. So we're always gonna eat mac and cheese. Always gonna love it. It's never gonna stop. We're always gonna have it on the side. We might have it as our main course every once in a while, but we also always sometimes we want a little wagyu. We want a little filet. With the nice truffle butter on it, right? And that's what we call the commercial stuff, the big multifamily, the shopping centers, the retail, right? So that's the filet. That's the wagyu, but we're always going to be investing in the mac and cheese. We're always going to be having that on the side. So always going to keep with that stuff. But right now I'm looking at the bigger stuff, and definitely going to be partnering with management companies. So I was curious if that's something you do, but you manage everything. You guys have.
Yeah. If you have questions about that, I can help you get that all set up and everything too, man. Cause I knew there was a lot of stuff I wish I would have known when we started out, and I know now. So yeah, I'd love to, talk about that sometime.
Definitely going to use you as a resource, man. I don't know. You might regret being on here.
No, it's good, man. Thank you.
Absolutely,
JP.
man. I mean, shoot, we're only 45
man.
minutes away, so we should be using each other as resources, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And man,
Well, JP's coming up to see you for the first cat. What game?
I'm going up to Game 5, man. I'll be at Game 5.
Game 5.
Yep.
Hell yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Cavs, Knicks, the round 1 coming up here.
Yeah.
Heck yeah! What if we sweep them?
Then I'm gonna get Game 5 for the Bucks series.
Okay.
I'm just rolling it over, baby. That's all.
Yeah, man. No, I'm excited for these playoffs. I go to a lot of Cavs games too.
Oh yeah.
So
Sweet.
definitely looking forward to
Without
that.
a doubt.
But yeah, guys, I'm going down to Dallas this week to speak at this No Limit conference hosted by my guy Donovan Ruffin. I don't know if you know him, or know of him. Runs one of the biggest wholesale operations in the country. Or Ryan Pineda. I don't know if you guys know Ryan Pineda, the couch flipper he's known for. He's going to be speaking as well. So going to be a really cool event. So I think there's some tickets left. I don't know if anyone wants to go, but I don't know when this even be posted.
Is this weekend?
It's this
upcoming weekend in Dallas.
Sounds fun. JP can go. JP's single, no kids. He can do anything. He can pick up and
all the
go.
time in the world.
Yeah, me and Mark, we got baseball and families, and we can fit it in. But man, we got other priorities, huh, Mark?
Oh yeah,
You guys make me sound like I'm not busy. Well, Sal, man, let me ask. I know we've kind of talked about it. I know you said you wanted to go to the property management side and kind of dig into that down the road, look more to investing in the whole country rather than just Ohio. What's next for you, man? I mean, what's the next big plan, or kind of what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking, honestly, man, I'm looking forward to continue to scale up my mortgage and insurance businesses. Because those are really, speaking openly, those are going to be real cash machines for me, to be honest. And those really will fund all my investing. And I'm looking forward to seeing those flourish, and in turn be able to invest in the larger assets. Like I said, never getting away from the single families, from the duplexes, from the stuff that's my bread and butter. I don't think I'll ever get away from that. But just looking forward to getting more into the, Class B and better assets, all around the country. So,
and you take that Sortino mortgage, and grow it worldwide, and maybe you can invest in a big asset such as the Cleveland Cavaliers someday.
Oh,
you can buy that team off another mortgage giant, right? And Dan Gilbert.
That would be very, very cool. I wouldn't mind being the owner of the Cavs. The only thing is, I would be that ridiculous owner like Jerry Jones that makes all his own calls. Like I wouldn't hire anybody to be my GM. I'm making all the calls.
I'll never forget a couple drafts ago. Jerry Jones said he locked himself in a room and made all the picks himself. I was like, what the hell? How could you even do that as a GM? It's awesome.
What a legend. What a legend.
Dude, I can't believe what these teams I can't believe what these teams are going for these days. The Washington Commanders, $6 billion. With sports gambling being basically legalized everywhere, it drove up the values of these teams crazy.
Yeah,
so it's nuts.
Yeah, I've never looked into the business of it, but I mean there's got to be some major returns for a $6 billion investment.
Yeah,
I don't know. I saw that was a thing, and I was like, being the mortgage guy, and having a little bit of knowledge on debt, I'm like, what's the amortization on $6 billion?
Right.
That's what I want to know. What's the payment on?
Yeah.
You get a 30-year. You get something else. What?
Shoot. They better be doing something. Yeah.
Crazy.
Wild. So what, JP, you're starting to invest in some stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So actually, I got started in May last year as an agent. And then I bought a duplex in September, and I'm in contract on another duplex right now. So still just getting my feet in the water, but yeah, man, getting started on the investing side too.
Love it, man. It can trickle. It can be a domino effect real quick.
Without a doubt.
It really can.
Yeah.
So
we're all trying to push them to do some bigger things.
They are without a doubt. Well, we just had Cody Davis and Christian Osgood on. Do you know those guys at all? Bigger Pockets. They were on Bigger Pockets, both of them.
I know of Bigger Pockets, but I don't know.
Okay, Cody's got like the #1 podcast ever on Bigger Pockets. Beat Kiyosaki by like 500,000 views. But they're young dudes. They're both under 30. They got 20 mil in real estate, and he made it so simple. The one time he was on here, he said, if your goal is to get to 100 units by the end of the year, say you have 15 units and you want to get to 100 units, the easiest way to get there is to buy an 85 unit. Don't mess with the duplexes and the single families. Just buy an 85 unit. So that was something that I took from that. That was pretty funny to me as well.
Or like Sal said, look for both. Always have the mac and cheese on the side. Always have that because it works. Always hit the singles. You can always hit the singles. Exactly. Every now and then you hit the home run. But consistently hit the singles for average. Yeah, I love that. Sal, I want to get back to this for a second. Then I'll let you guys finish up with any final thoughts. You'd mentioned the off market and working your relationships to get those properties off market. Yeah. What else besides relationships? How and where are you finding majority of your off market deals?
Yeah, so we do a lot to source our off market deals. We spend a lot of money, just being very open. To source these. I'll tell you this: I've done probably anything and everything you've heard of in terms of trying to source deals off market. We pay for data that tells us people who might want to sell or need to sell very soon. We're going to do outbound marketing to reach out to them and simply ask them if they'd entertain an offer on their home. Right. On top of that, I invest in inbound marketing campaigns such as direct mail. Actually going to be TV here soon, TV commercials. But I'll give this is a real secret sauce here. Okay.
That's what we want.
Give you guys. All right. It's the radio. Okay. The radio. Okay. People don't realize it. Radio has been my most lucrative marketing channel, and it's not even close.
Really?
And I don't think people understand that. Yeah.
Incredible.
That's a big gem that I don't share with a lot of people. So,
what do you think the percentage is, like, compared to your other ones?
Oh, my ROI on radio last year alone was over 10x net on my marketing campaign.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's the thing. So you talk about all these marketing methods, and people might give you shit sometimes. Oh, Sal's buying everything cheap. He's buying it off market. And Sal said, you can say all you want, but you want to see my monthly P&L, how much my company spends on marketing, what my overhead is. I have to buy shit cheap, or else I'm losing money. So I just want to put that in perspective for people out there. It's expensive to run a company and have those marketing things in place. So, man, kudos to you for taking that investment, buying those properties, fixing them up, fixing up whole entire neighborhoods, rehabbing properties, rehabbing neighborhoods, increasing property values, increasing neighboring property values. Kudos to you, man. Awesome job.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And funny enough, how I kind of connected with Sal, you know, Tracy, right? Tracy Jones. So I seen her post you. I added you as a friend because I'm always trying to add people, grow the network. And I started to see you post some stuff. And I seen you post the one that caught my eye. You post this apartment, I think, in Sandusky. And there was like 300 comments on this thing. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, man. And everybody was complaining to you, and you were firing back at them, explaining to them why it's priced the way it's priced, man. That was one that caught my eye and really cracked me up. But you're right up the road, man. We need to all get together too. We need to get together and maybe have some dinner or have some lunch or something. But if you want, tell a little bit of that story about that post, man.
Yeah, it's funny though because you just recently probably started following me then. I don't know what it is about my Facebook page, but I get so much engagement. It's bizarre. I'm very happy about it. Like, it's great. But it really is. Sometimes I'm like, how the heck am I don't know where all these people are coming from. Right. but so I posted an apartment. It was actually a single family home for rent. And just the comments started to come in, oh, this is overpriced. 2020 prices with a 1980s kitchen, like they're just roasting me in these comments. And I'm not the typical middle-aged landlord that's just gonna say this, not gonna say anything back. I got to be true to my brand. I got to be Sal, so I have to get on there and I have to give it back to him a little bit. So I'm just basically breaking it down in every way that I can. Basing it off of the average income, the average, average everything. I was giving them data.
I was giving them data.
And there just tended. It was hilarious because you had half of the people on my side, like having my back, like sticking up for me in the comments, and then you had the other half saying, "Oh, you guys are crazy." So it basically was the good side versus the bad side, just going at it in the comments. It was ridiculous. It was crazy.
So did you rent the house for the advertised price?
I rented it for more than the advertised price.
Yeah.
Boom!
And the funny thing was, it was rented within like 1 hour. Within like 1 hour.
Too low, Sal. That's what I would have said. If I was talking shit on there, I'd be like, Sal, your price is too low, baby.
Yeah, that's what some people were saying. So it's hilarious watching them go back and forth in the comments. But my Facebook tends to be pretty entertaining at times. If you see some of the comments on my posts, you'll really get entertainment out of it.
That's funny, man. Love it. Hey, whoever gets the most no's gets the most dough. I want y'all to remember that from Sal Sortino, baby. Love that. All right, y'all. Hey, we're pushing over 30 minutes. Thank you so much for your time. Any final closing thoughts from anybody?
Listen, whoever hears the most no's makes the most dough. You know, make a friend today, make a deal tomorrow, build relationships, man. That's gonna lead to opportunities, I promise.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for listening to the Dream Huge podcast. Folks, or Sal, before I let you go, though, where can folks follow you and find you online?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram. That's probably the best place. At Sal_V as in vein _Sortino. From there, you can hit the link tree and follow me everywhere else and find me on, on the web and whatnot.
Awesome. Sal Sortino. Thank you for listening to the Dream Huge podcast with Sal Sortino. Our special guest today, Mark Gray, slanging deals every day. JP for 3, John PAVLANSKY, and myself, Pete Peterson. Folks, please remember to review, subscribe, and share. And as always, remember the rules. Work hard, never give up, and dream huge, baby. Throw them guns up there, Sal.
Let's go.